So I was perusing Netflix the other night, and I was trying to think of something to watch, and I was really in the mood for something 1980s sci-fi horror or something along those lines. And I saw Leviathan come up, and I instantly was like, I gotta watch that movie. And for some reason in my head, I was like, I've never seen Leviathan. I definitely gotta watch that. I remember seeing videos. Rambo Raft talks about it all the time. He's a big champion of this movie, and I in my head I thought I'd never seen it, but as soon as I started watching it, I realized that I had seen this movie multiple times. That didn't matter. I was really looking forward to watching it, and I really had a great time watching it. The movie, as anyone who's seen it will say, and anyone that's a big fan of The Thing is going to say, is it's literally The Thing underwater. Um, Basically, you have a monster that's like assimilating people. It's loose in the area. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who could be infected. And they're stuck in some kind of area that they can't escape. They can't just leave. In The Thing, they're stuck in the Arctic or the Arctic, yeah. And in Leviathan, they're stuck deep, deep underwater. And it totally lands. I think everybody think about this movie lands. It is a complete blatant ripoff of The Thing, but it doesn't matter. I just think it works out so well, and everything comes together in this movie. And I had such a great time watching it. Um, I could go on about everything, but for instance, the actors: Amanda Pays, Richard Crenna, Ernie Hudson, Peter Weller. Um, what's his name? Daniel Stern plays Six Pack. There's so many great actors in this movie. I thought they all did such a great job, especially Peter Weller. Whenever I watch a movie with Peter Weller, I think he does such a great job, and I always wonder why he didn't have more of a career. Not that he had a bad career or anything like that, but seeing him play these characters, he just does such a great job of, I don't know, the whole time I was watching this movie, I totally was like, he's a cool guy, he's a bit of a badass, all that stuff. It just all lined up. I just think he did a great job. Ernie Hudson as well. Richard Crenna, of course, he's amazing. And it just, I don't know, the whole thing, the cast was just perfect. I thought they acted really well together. A lot of camaraderie, a lot of fun stuff in there. I just thought it was really, really well played. The score is amazing. It's just such you don't really get to watch movies as much these days with a really great orchestral score, and especially not movies like this. If you were to go watch a movie like this today, they would put no money into the score. They would get some guy to score it, quote unquote, and it would be, techno and rock and all that stuff that's like popular right now. Whatever tunes are out right now. It wouldn't be a cool or orchestrated piece, or very little. This movie is from stem to stern and has really memorable pieces, especially at the end, when the movie's just finished its climax and its ending. It has a really great score there, and just the whole movie throughout. I just thought it had great music, and it really stuck out with me watching it. And again, this is, I can't remember the last time I watched this, but it got to have been a little while. Creature effects are by Stan Winston. I think they're okay. They're not nearly as good as The Thing, Rob Bottin stuff in The Thing, but they're still pretty awesome. The gore effects look great. I think the blood in it looks great. I just think the creature itself at the end kind of looks stiff, but it didn't have as big of a. I don't think it had. At least I don't think it had as big of a budget behind it as The Thing. It probably had less of a budget and stuff like that, as it was sort of like a Thing clone. But they did a great job, and it still works out, and it's still. The creature's filmed well. They use very little of it. They just use shadows and things like that to highlight it. I think in the end it doesn't really matter. It all works out great. But when you do see it, you kind of think it's a little bit stiff. But other than that, I just think that it totally worked. They had lots of great jump scares. I think that all of that lands really well as well. What else is there that I want to talk about? So I talked about the score. I've talked about the acting. I've talked about the creature. I've talked about the story being a big ripoff. I don't know. Maybe there's not a whole lot else that I have to say about Leviathan, except that you definitely need to see it. I'm a big fan of these deep water sci-fi movies. It's sort of like being in outer space, only on Earth. We don't know a lot about the deep, deep sea, and when you make movies down there, it could be the same thing as being in space. It's like being in a spacesuit when you're in your underwater gear and things like that. You don't know what's down there, what kind of creatures could be down there. So I always like these movies anyway. I'm kind of a sucker for them. But I think Leviathan has to be one of my favorites, if not my favorite of these movies, and that's saying a lot. because there's a lot of really good ones, of course, out there in this genre. But I won't go on about this anymore and say the same things over and over again. But if you're looking for a great like adventure, mystery, horror, sci-fi movie, it's kind of everything. You definitely need to check out Leviathan, even though it is a bit of a Thing clone. You're gonna really enjoy it, I think. So that's everything I have to say on this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and take care.